And don't worry about faux pas. We all have them, but today we're going to have a great day and we're going to go over this training today. And I cannot wait to give you these three keys for exponential. I know a lot of times we talk about exponential, we're talking about finances and things of that nature. But today I'm going to talk about the three keys of exponential growth that you can have in 2021. And this is just a little snippet of what some I have in store for you today. Because also we're going to talk about not only the growth, but you're going to walk away with at least 3 to 15 golden nuggets you can apply to your life. And if you want to even go further, I'm going to have another offering at the end. So I know you're excited, but at the end, I'm going to have another offering on something I'm providing this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. A goal setting training. And this goal setting training will just take this to another level as well. Okay? Because we're going to really get in depth on how you can really put your goals into place. But right now, let's stick to this. And I want to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen right now?
We see your screen, my friend.
Okay, I'm trying to get this out of my way so I can, for some reason, I'm unable to, hold on one second. Bear with me one second. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, you can't slow me down, guys. Everybody give yourselves a round of applause just for that little faux pas. See, I talked about faux pas and then I did one. But anyway, one thing I love about 40 plus, first and foremost, you guys are so energetic, you're so enthusiastic, and I'm gonna have a little bit of time for you to go ahead and show me some of that today because I love to have interplay. I like for my audience to also engage as well. Not only me doing all the talking, but I'm gonna give you opportunities to have some discussion. Okay, we got to make it very interactive so you can really get the key nuggets, the golden nuggets through this training on today. And when I look at the three keys for exponential growth of 2021, I want to look at it from the perspective of what you already have here. You have here for 40 plus, we're talking about already that empowering experience professionals for successful career transitions. Now, I know some of you already have jobs. I know some of you are looking for a job, and I'm just so happy that you're here today. But you're going to get a great opportunity to not only hear some ways to change your mindset, to keep a positive mindset, a growth-oriented mindset, so you can take yourself to the next level in 2021. And sometimes you hear things like that and you say, wow, is that really going to happen? Can that really happen in just an hour and a half? I assure you it can. So just take time to go through this trip with me. And as we go on, what we're going to talk about is these three key nuggets I'm talking about are from a book by a great gentleman by the name of John Maxwell. He is a leading author, writer, coach, trainer. In fact, I'm part of his organization called the John Maxwell Team, and I have the ability to provide this training to you based on that. And one thing I love about the book, and this book has meant a lot to me. I have so many great nuggets, and you're going to hear some of my stories as we go on today. But this book has touched my life in such a powerful, momentous way that I'm able to provide you this training today with all sincerity and all love. Yes, I said love as well because I love this book. And the one thing about this book that really stand out to me the most, as when you look at many books, I love to look at the subscription because the subscription really tells you, it's almost like the genesis of what the book is all about, other than the backstory. But when you look at the subscription of this book, it says, live them and reach your potential. So I'm going to give you only 3 of the keys from this book that's going to help you change your trajectory on your life today. And you're going to look, I'm going to show you the other ones as well. So you're going to get a chance to see all of them. And you're going to have an opportunity to go further where you can see even more than that. But only 3 today. And when we look at the first key, It's the law of intentionality. And it says here, the law of intentionality, growth doesn't just happen. See, when we're talking about being at exponential growth for 2021, you have to be intentional about it. It's not going to happen by happenstance. It's not going to be something that's just going to just fall out the sky. You have to have a mindset of being intentional about how you're going to grow yourself. What are you going to do differently from last year so you won't get the same results you've been achieving throughout 2020? 2021 is a new year, new ideas, new adventures, new goals, new objectives. So you may have to tweak some things in order to make that come to fruition. And if you look at this one slide here, this is a quote by John Maxwell. If you do the things you need to do when you need to do them, then someday you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And as you can see how the imagery depicts the growth from your hand. It's all in your hands. How you want to grow yourself. What do you want to do differently? Is it that new job? Is it the promotion that you're looking for? What is it? What are the things you need to do right now in order to someday do the things you want to do when you want to do them? It starts with you. Now, moving on. But when we look at the growth, we have to realize sometimes that there's a law of intentionality. You have to have a plan to grow. And things not going to happen by osmosis. You have to really plan these things out. And one thing I love to look at is you need to use some intentional words to grow yourself. Now, I want you guys to write this down, please. Each one of these words, I want you to write it down. I want you to begin to really think into these words so you can make sure you got it sealed in your mind, because these are critically important for you to start this growth pattern I'm talking about. The first word is being intentional now. These are intentional growth words so you can change your mindset and use them when you're talking about vision casting, mission statements, and things of that nature. Use these words, put them in there. First one is action. How are you going to take action? Because you got to have that desire to want to achieve the things that you want to do. So you have to have an action mindset, an action way of you're going to go about taking yourself to the next level. The next word is purpose. Yes, purpose. That's a critical word, because when we talk about purpose, it's not about wishing for things. You got to have a purpose. How are you going to walk that thing out? What are you going to do differently? And I'm going to talk a lot more about that in the goal casting, so I'm not going to go too much in detail about that. But when I talk about goal setting this afternoon, I'm going to really get into purpose. But when we talk about your purpose, that needs to be something that you use on a daily basis. Remind yourself of your purpose. Have it documented somewhere, maybe on a Post-it card. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And then today, why is today important? Today is important because you can't think about tomorrow all the time. What you need to do today, execute it today. So remember, today is critically important. Strategy, yes. When you use that strategy, use that word in your mission statements. As you go throughout your day, how are you going to be strategic about what you want to achieve? Definitely. Why is definitely important? Because it's definitive. You are making a stance on what you're going to do. Those are intentional words. Next one, active. Yes, that's a word of momentum. You're being active. You're going to activate. You're going to make it happen. The next word is continually. It's not just going to happen once in a while. You're going to build that momentum by being continuous in what your efforts, in your ideas, in your passion. All right. Next one is discipline. I don't need to say no more. If you don't have discipline in 2021, guess what? You're going to see the same things happen to you in 2020 as it happened now. I know we had COVID. I know we had social unrest. We have so many things going on around us, but that doesn't change the fact that you must follow these words with all kind of effort that you can put forth into these words and have that self-discipline to achieve those goals that you have set forth in your life. Don't let society beat you down. Realize that you have all the capabilities, all fully resourced to achieve the things you want to achieve in life if you have a plan, if you have goals set. Next one. Next word is I will, or we will, if you're talking about a group. I will. You have to realize when you put yourself up as a proactive mindset and you say, I will do this, it's different than I can, I may. I will is definite. You're going to make it happen. Going back to number 5. And number 10 is success. We're going to talk more about that, but always have that word in mind, success. See the success that's going to happen. Understand the success that's going to happen in your life, okay? Those are the 10 words that you must use to be more intentional in the things that you're going to do and how you're going to walk yourself out to fulfill those goals and objectives that you want to see in 2020. And this will help you have exponential growth. You see, I use will already. Now, all right. Now the next one. Now we're talking about here, we're still in law of intentionality, but you also have to realize that, what is it? Okay, let me get it. What happened? Something happened to my screen. All right. Also, you have to look at, when you're looking at the law of intentionality, you have to look at it from this perspective as well. The law of intentionality has growth gaps sometimes. You have to realize you always may have a gap that may happen. Things that may try to prevent you or take you off course from what you really want to do and achieve. And some of the growth gaps is this. The first one is the assumption gap. I assume I will automatically grow. Don't remove that assumption gap, because you have to understand that when you make assumptions, it's not really real. You're assuming. But when you are more calculated, strategic in how you come up with your ideas and your purposes, guess what? It may happen in a more positive and forward-thinking way. So don't remove that assumption gap, okay? That's something that try to prevent you from achieving your goals and to prevent you from being intentional in what you're trying to do. The next one is, and I love, there's a power in imagery. There's a power in imagery. And when you look at the image on the right-hand side of the knowledge gap, if you notice it has little settings there, little wheels turning there. And you got to realize the knowledge gap, I don't know how to grow. See, when you're looking at the wheels turning, you have the knowledge. You know how to grow. It's a matter of maybe you need to find yourself a coach. Maybe you need to find yourself a mentor of some sort. But you know what you need to do to grow. And in that goal setting class this afternoon, I'm going to go into more detail about how you can find what techniques you need to use in order to break that knowledge gap. Those things that may try to prevent you from growing. The next one is the timing gap. It's not the right time to begin. These are things that's trying to prevent you from being intentional. So you have to realize the timing gap is something that always may seem like it's going to slow you down or prevent you. However, you can't let it prevent you. You only have one life to live. We only have one shot at this thing. So you have to use it, make sure you got the right time, the right effort, and have that time and use it wisely, okay? The next one is the mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistakes. We've all been there. I've been there. I never forget years ago when I was first starting in, I may have told this story once before, coming to 40 plus, but I'll never forget, about 16 years ago, I went to a training conference, and I went to this training conference and I heard this gentleman by the name of Willie Jolly. He was speaking, and he's a famous motivational speaker. And I heard him speak, and I said, man, he's a really great speaker. I mean, everybody pumped him up. They said how great he was, how funny he was. He even sang. And I was like, wow, this is, I mean, he is great. And something about when he spoke, I said, man, it seemed like it really resonated with me. And in that same conference, a couple of days later, I went to see another gentleman speak in Denver, Colorado. I went to see him speak, and his name was Jonathan Sprinkles. That's his name, Jonathan Sprinkles. But when I heard Jonathan Sprinkles speak, I know it's something different. Willie Jolly resonated with me, but this guy pulled me in, drew me in. And one thing I noticed about his training style, his speaking style, it really touched my heart. He got out with the audience. He did some high fives. He walked amongst the crowd. All those different things really resonate with me and touched my heart in such a way, it told me, I'm gonna do it one day. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be a motivational speaker, which I call an empowerment speaker, but I'm gonna be an empowerment speaker one day. Guess what? I didn't do anything for years, almost like 13 years. I didn't do anything, ladies and gentlemen. I really just sat there and waited because I was afraid I was gonna make a mistake. So remove those barriers from your mind. Understand, I mean, I have my business now for 4 years now, but remove those barriers from your mind and realize that when something is innate in you, when something has really called you to be the person that you are truly meant to be, follow through on it. Don't let that gap prevent you from being your full and flourish of yourself, okay? Next one here is the perfection gap. That's another one I was running into during the same time. I have to find the best way before I get started. Yes, that can slow you down so much by you trying to find the best way. By you trying, I mean, I went ahead and had different coaches and things I did. I did kind of information, looked up information about becoming a speaker, but guess what? I didn't execute. Next one here, the inspiration gap. I don't feel like doing it. You're going to find times in 2021 that you're not going to want to do certain things. You're going to find times that you may want to say, I'll do it later. I'll procrastinate. But guess what it does to you when you procrastinate? When you lose that inspiration, you get complacent and you won't follow through on those things you want to do. Because when complacency turns into comfortability, and you don't want to get comfortable and complacent. You have to always strive for the greatness that you have inside you. Next one is the comparison gap. Others are better than I am. I have a good story for you there. I had one of my daughters. I was just talking about my daughter with Jeffrey from 40 Plus. And when I was talking to him, I was talking about my one daughter. She's my middle child. Love her. She's a handful. I love her to death. But I never forget when she ran track, and she was a great athlete, or is a great athlete. And she was running track, and she always compared herself to other runners. And I said, baby, you can't compare yourself to others. You have everything in you that you need to be. When you look in the mirror and you compare yourself to that person, and you compare yourself to that PR that you want to get, your personal best, guess what? That is your challenge. And that's the obstacle you need to get over in order to take yourself to the next level. Each time you run, each time you get a PR, personal best, go higher, go faster, do the things necessary to take yourself to another level. Next one here. Oops, I lost one. Next one here. The expectation gap. This is the last one. I thought it would be easier than this. Yes, sometimes it do seem like it will be easier. Sometimes you will have ideas that come before you that may seem like it may be easier than what it was before. But you have to realize, keep your focus on the prize. And everything's not going to be easy. Life's not going to be easy. But you can't achieve the things you need to achieve in life if you put your mind straight on the ideas that you need to achieve, okay? Here we go, next one. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to transition to intentional growth. When we talk about intentional growth, the first question you need to know is, and it's going to be a series of four questions. Four questions. The first one is, where do I want to go in life? So I want you guys to write these questions down, please, and answer them to yourself. Where do you want to go in life? Because when you want to be intentional, you have to have a good idea of what you want to do. And then the next question is, what direction do you want to go? See, the first one is where you want to go. Now we're talking about what direction you want to go, because you can go various different directions. But when you start getting more definitive on where you want to go and the direction, you get more clear on how you want to be intentional about achieving that goal. The next one is think about what's the furthest you can imagine yourself going. Yeah, so now you look at where you want to go, look at what direction. Now, how far can you go? Because sometimes we realize that when you reach a certain milestone or a certain point of emphasis, that's it. But you need to move beyond, because once you get to that point of that goal or get to that milestone that you reach, now you got to start thinking about what's the next one. How far can I take this thing? My entrepreneurship, my business, my promotion, my new job. Where else can I go with this? How far can I go? And the last question is, how long will it take to get there? So when you write these questions down and you answer these questions to yourself, you're starting to map out a plan of how you want to execute, okay? How you want to be intentional. And as you can see, each one of these questions are a building block on how you want to achieve a certain goal or a certain purpose. And you're being automatically more intentional in the things you want to do and how you're going to see the results in your life that you want to see. Also, when we look at the law of intentionality, we have to realize that once you write these things out, you have to do it. I mean, we can write anything we want to write, but if you're not doing it, it means nothing. So you need to do it now. And I mean it. No, really, you need to do it now, because if you don't do it, guess what? You're gonna realize, what am I waiting for? How I let that pass me by? I just talked about 16 years. I'll say 13 years because the last 4 years I had my business. But 13 years I didn't speak, and I knew it was in me. I didn't do it now. I didn't do it. But now I'm doing it, and I'm doing it strong. So when you have that thing in you, when you know you have this goal, this thing you want to achieve, do it now. And when we start doing these goals, yes, don't get me wrong, there's going to be certain fear factors. And let's look at the acronym FEAR, okay? False evidence appearing real. So keep that in the back of your mind when I go through these fear factors, okay? Keep it in your back of your mind. False evidence appearing real. But you're going to have these fear factors that may come your way. The first one is the fear of failure. Yes, it's going to come up. There's no way around it. You're going to feel like I may fail you. There may be something I may do that's wrong and I can't get beyond it. False evidence appearing real. And then the fear of trading the security for the unknown. Same thing I'm talking about before. If I knew I was going to start my speaking business, empowerment trainer, coaching, speaker, when I knew I was going to do these things, I had to trade some security. There were some things that may have to change in my life. And I didn't know about it. But I had to get past that fear. The next one is fear of what others think. That was easy for me to get rid of that one, because I when I get my mind made up on something, I can easily push through it. But some of you may go through that. You may have an issue with, what others may think about what's going on. Next one is fear of being overextended on your resources. Yes, a lot of people are going through that right now because of what's going on with the pandemic. What's going on with jobs? What's going on with promotions? What's going on with lateral? What's going on with temps? Yes, there's a lot of things in life right now that's going on, and you may have a fear of being overextended on your resources. But you have to push through that, because you have to be intentional about your goals that you want to achieve. Next one, fear of pushing others away. What we're talking about here is sometimes you may have to push other people away. Their season may be up. Everyone has seasons in your life. And sometimes people that may be in your circle of influence, their season may be up. They have to go. So don't be fearful of pushing them away. Now, when we talk about these, I want you to ask yourself this one question. And I want a couple of you to answer this for me, please. So you can take your phones off mute or take your computers off mute. And I want you to answer this question for me. Which emotion is stronger, the desire to change and grow, or one of the previous fears we discussed? Anybody?
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Who was that?
San.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else?
This is Joe. It's a kind of question. When you talked about fear of pushing someone away, they've hit their season. Can you describe that a little bit? Because that might be one I have.
Okay. Sometimes when you have someone in your life, and thank you for the question.
Sure.
Everyone, we all have seasons. Like when we talk about fall, spring, summer, winter, we talk about seasons of the year, okay, of course. But when we talk about seasons of life, we have certain seasons with people. Like you may have, when you had a childhood friend that you went to high school with, and him or her may have been so close to you, and you could never imagine your life without him or her. You couldn't, because they were so close to you. And then you go off to college, then you go to grad school, then you go to get your doctorate, then you go in the workforce, and you lose track of that person. Guess what? That was a season.
Mm-hmm.
He or she was there for a season. Mm-hmm. Or you may have someone that you may have your best man or your marriage, or your best or your bridesmaid.
Got it.
Be real close to you, but that was, and then as time goes on, you have kids, grandkids and such. Or if I don't know you're young, but anyway, but you may have
That's all good.
Go through that season, and it just passes away.
Okay. Thank
right?
you. Yep.
No problem. No problem. Anybody else want to chime in on this question? So when we say which emotion is stronger, the desire to change and grow, or one of the previous fears we discussed, I want you to remember that the answer is within you. So some of you did give your answer. You can put your phones back on mute now. I have to take it off in a moment. But some of it's within you. Whether or not that fear is something that's going to take you over, or you can just push through it. Okay? So don't let the fear consume you, false evidence appearing real, but push through that fear and realize to be intentional, you got to look beyond that.
Can I ask you a question?
Please. Who's this?
It's Sen again.
The
fear of failure is, fear of perfectionist, of blah, blah, blah. Those are really big for me. And I'm trying to break through that, but what suggestions do you have to really be able to really do something with that and deal with and handle that in a very effective way?
There's two things I can make suggestions for. One is, and one that I would recommend, is find yourself a good coach that can coach you on that can help ask you those questions that you want to ask yourself, to pull those fears and those doubts out of your mind, okay? Mm-hmm. And bring them forward to you so you can see them for what they really are and move them past that. Mm-hmm. However, I'm gonna tell you a quicker one. Coaching is a process. You have to go through a process and a relationship with the coach. However, a quicker one is this. And we're going to talk more about it as we go on, but I want you to know, I'm going to give it to you since you asked this question. When you talk about the fear and the fear of failure, that is something called a self-limiting belief. Self-limiting belief. And I am a self-limiting belief buster, meaning I am the type of person that any client I have, I help remove those self-limiting beliefs. And the way you do it, you refute it. And the way you refute it is you find certain things that you may be fearful of. You may have that fear of failure. You need to start thinking about what areas, Sam, that you succeeded in. What areas did you see growth in? What areas did you see yourself grow in such a way that you saw the success in your life? I don't care how small it is. I don't care how large it is. It's a success. And how can you duplicate success? Repetition. Okay? I hope that helped you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we go on?
Well, we have a comment. Okay. Some people simply hold you back because of their negativity.
You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Some people will hold you back. And when people hold you back, you have to realize when someone is holding you back because of negativity, that's the thing that they have on them. You can't let that consume you. You can't let that control you. You can only let that motivate you to make the changes necessary in your life to get it beyond that. All right. Thank you for that comment. Any other comments? Any other questions? All right, here we go. Now we're going to move on to the law of intentionality. Accidental. Now, this is going to be very interactive right here. Accidental growth versus intentional growth, okay? Accidental growth versus intentional growth. And when we get into this next slide, I want you guys, it's going to be very interactive here. So I want everybody to take your phones off mute. And this is what we're going to do. You see the scale here. Accidental growth, 0. That means, you know, it's not really good. And 10 means you're being intentional. So when we look at this scale, I want you to be mindful of what I'm going to read the accidental growth statements, and I want everyone online to read the coinciding intentional growth statement, okay? Is that easy enough? And I want you to have in your mind, where do you fall on each one of these, okay? So are you doing number 5 when you look at the 2, or are you a number 10? That's which is great. When you look at the 2, so we're going to get started on 3. 1, 2, 3. Accidental growth. Plans to start tomorrow. Go ahead, guys. Say it. Insist.
Insist on starting today.
Great. So,
Starting
all right, the next one is waits for growth to come. Say it.
takes complete responsibility.
responsibility to grow.
Woo, I like that one. I love the way you said that with confidence too. The next one, learns only from mistakes. Go ahead.
Often learns before mistakes.
That's intentional growth. That's intentional growth. Next one, accidental growth. Depends on good luck. Go ahead, guys. Intentional.
Relies
Relies on hard work.
Relies on hard work. Next one, accidental growth. Quits early and often. Intentional growth.
Perseveres long and hard.
High five. Bam. That's a good one. All right. Accidental growth falls into bad habits. Intentional growth does what?
Fights for good habits.
Fights for good habits. You have to realize when you're talking about being intentional, those bad habits don't come. You will put forth the best effort, the best momentum to fight for those great habits, okay? Next one, talks big.
follows through.
Follows through, yes. So when you have those assignments, when you're being intentional, when you have to apply to those jobs, when you have to get your resume straight together, when you have to get your LinkedIn page in order, when you have to follow up with this client, you have to follow up with these individuals about job prospects. That is being following through on those things, okay? Next one, plays it safe, accidental growth. What does intentional people do?
Takes risks.
Take risk. All right? Accidental growth. Thinks like a victim. Intentional.
Thinks like a learner.
Like a learner. Just like you're here at 40 plus today. You're not here by happenstance. You're not here by osmosis. You're here for a specific, defined reason, and you're here to learn. That's right. All right. The next one here. Accidental. Relies on talent.
Relies on character.
Character. You realize how powerful it is to have a great character?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're looking for jobs, and I've done many interviews and things of that nature, even taught people how to interview and things of that nature, you have to realize when you come to an interview, people aren't looking just at you and what you have on your paper. And that's great, don't get me wrong, and it has great value, so I don't want you to lose sight of that. People are looking at how you conduct yourself, how you dress, whether you before, it's all about your character, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Next one here, last one. Accidental growth stops learning after graduation. Intentional growth, what?
Never stops.
Never stops growing.
Never stop learning. This is only a snippet of your life. You need to continue to improve on yourself. You invest in yourself on growth. Invest on those things that you need to do to grow yourself. A lot of times when things happen for free, people don't look at it as valuable.
Right.
But when you go ahead and you invest in yourself, you're going to take a different approach to it. You're going to really push yourself to get the maximum benefit from it. All right. So thank you guys for intentional growth. Now, you can put your phones back on mute or your computers back on mute. And I want to show you one last thing. Now, I know we're virtual, but if I was in person at 40 plus, I normally have these things called the Kmc Empowerment Card. Okay. What I do is with my Kmc Empowerment Card, normally I hand it out to everybody. You flip it over, and I normally have an empowering message or a statement. But today, I'm going to do a virtual Kmc Empowerment Card, and I want you guys to get a pen and paper, and I want you to write this down, okay? And this is critically important when we talk about this first key. And this is the way we're going to bring it home. All right, I flipped the card over. It says here, the law of intentionality that we just got through talking about, the first key of exponential growth in 2021. I want you to answer this question for yourself. In what area do you need to grow right now? We talked about all those things. You know right now where you need to grow. So write it down. Now, what is your plan to grow? Is it to find a coach? Is it to take more training? Is it to read a book? Is it to you have a mentor? Whatever it is, write that down. And then the last one is, I want you to think of someone that you know, like, and trust. That's critically important. Those are the three components of communication and connection. Know, like, and trust that can be your accountability partner. Just make sure that you do those things. And last but not least, the area that you want to grow in, I want you to circle where you feel your number is right now. And then I also want you to circle where you want your number to be by the end of 2021. So just write that down. Hope you guys got it. Hope you took a screenshot or just wrote it on a piece of paper. That's it for this session, okay? Now, here we go. Now we're moving to the law of the mirror. This is the second key. The second key for exponential growth in 2021 is the law of the mirror. You must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. That's critically important. If you don't see the value in you, how can others see the value in you? If you don't see what's going on in your life that you think is more valuable, how will others know it? So you must first say the right things to yourself. Speak the right things to yourself.
Kevin, we have a question along with a comment that goes with it from a participant. They state, how can the desire to grow and change become stronger than our fears? I have the desire to grow and change, but also many fears seem to outweigh the desire to change. Yeah.
And that's one of those things we were talking about, because when you have thank you for the question first and foremost. When you look at it from that perspective, those desires and fears are strong. I gotta admit it is. It is strong. It is something that may try to hold you back. But again, that's that self-limiting belief. Sometimes you need to put yourself in position to grow further, move beyond that. And I told you about one way already where you start refuting it by finding out those things that you have done in the past, where you have done better, where you have grown from a fear. Some people may have a fear of flying, but they got in a plane and made it to a certain destination. Was that fear still there? Yes, but they got through it. They got to the other side. In the same way, when you look at in life, there's going to be many things that may make you feel taken aback, may make you feel out of sorts. maybe a new terrain that you're going through. But if you let those fears stop you, you're going to be stagnant. You're not going to move at all. And when you don't have no movement, you have no growth. So you have to push beyond those fears. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a little painful here and there. Not necessarily physical pain, but it's going to be a little painful here and there. But guess what? There's another side to it. And that's overcoming and achieving. And I know you're an overcomer. I know you are an achiever. So push through it. I hope that was helpful. All right, here we go. The next one is the key number 2. If we're looking at momentum, exponential growth for 2021, you need to have the law of the mirror. You must see value in yourself and add value to yourself. And when you look at this imagery, this is so pivotal. When you look at this imagery, this is the key, ladies and gentlemen. This is the key for 2021. 2020 is in the past. 2021 is your future. What do you see? You should see your potential. You see the cat right here. The cat is, nothing wrong with a little kitty cat. But that cat sees the lion within her, or the lioness within her. Okay? So you must see that lion or lioness in your life. How are you going to take yourself to the next level? How are you going to take yourself to achieve all these goals, aspirations in 2021 if you don't see them and visualize them in your life? Let me tell you something. Visualization is so powerful. Athletes do it all the time. They see themselves in the Super Bowl. They see themselves in the playoffs. They see themselves in a tennis championship. You think Venus Williams didn't see herself before she won Wimbledon? She saw herself there. She even went through hitting the ball back and forth. You have to visualize yourself there. Once you see, like you looking for that ideal job, don't look for the job. See yourself in the job. See who you're going to be working with, who you're going to be talking to. Do you have to have all faces? No. Are they going to be the right people? Maybe not. But you're going to see yourself going through the motions. You're visualizing what you want to see your future outcome to be. And that's the same thing we're talking about here. It's all about your potential. How do you see yourself? See, when you look in the mirror, you have to realize your view of yourself determines your behavior. Yeah, you can't outperform your self-image. So however you feel about yourself is how you're going to display yourself to others around you. And then you got to look at the value we put on ourselves is the value others will put on us as well. That's so true. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it. The way you look at yourself, others are going to feel the same thing because it's all about your aura. What is it about you? Here's a quote from John Maxwell. And don't be mad at me about this one, but it's so true. If you place a small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise your price. It will not. Because you have to realize if you don't see yourself where you want to be, nobody else is going to see you there as well. That's all about how you carry yourself, your demeanor, your dress, how you articulate yourself. You need to speak yourself into that situation you want to be in. Dress yourself into that situation you want to be in. Visualize yourself in that situation you want to be in. Some people may be looking for a spouse or some sort. Begin visualizing yourself there. Begin dressing the part that you already have someone. Do the things necessary so you can put yourself in that positioning to receive the goal that you want to achieve. And here are some steps to build your self-esteem. First one is guard your self-talk. Somebody asked a question today. They put it in the chat, asking the question about the fear. And you have to realize when you start placing these ideas about fear and how it's preventing you from doing X, Y, and Z, guess what? It's going to prevent you from doing X, Y, and Z. So it's key that you have to guard your self-talk. What do you say to yourself? How do you speak about things in your life? How you speak things in existence in your life? Because as you speak it, as it will come out in your life. That's why you need to speak positive. I'm always speaking positive about my business. I'm always speaking positive about my relationship. I'm always speaking positive about the things I want to achieve in life because I know that's going to bring it to fruition in my life. Stop comparing yourself to anyone. I told you about my daughter already. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Look in that mirror. When you look in the mirror, guess what you'll see? What you want to be. Compare yourself to that person. See that person as he or she has grown into who they want to be in 2021. Whether they've grown intellectually, whether they've grown emotionally, whether they've grown physically. See that in your life. Next one here, and this is key. Write this one down. In order to build your self-esteem, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second key. The second key for exponential growth, add value to others. When you're feeling down on yourself, the best way to pull yourself out that rut, the best way to grow yourself is to add value to others. Take somebody out, send somebody a letter. Do something nice for somebody else. I know it's COVID. I know we have masks and all the rest, but you can still help others. You can still add value. Be creative. Next one. Move beyond your self-limiting beliefs. Move beyond your self-limiting beliefs. That's why I was talking about earlier. See those things you have already achieved in your life. Don't let the negative things or negative thoughts come in your mind about what you can't do. Remove the word can or never, will not. Remove all that stuff and keep positive words there. Remember we were talking about the intentional words? Place those negatives with those positive intentional words. How you going to be action-oriented? How you going to be decisive? You're going to make the right decisions. You're going to do all these things necessary in order to see these things in your life come to life for you. All right? Now, when you're talking about overcoming some of the pains that may be out there to see the amazing growth that's before you, I want you to start thinking about ways of doing it. First one is make a list of your best personal qualities. And then you need to review that list daily and add more as awareness comes to your life. Something else comes up, oh yeah, I can do that as well. And then you have to know this self-talk, you need to have a powerful effect on those who practice it. So when you talk about negative self-talk, the things you may say negatively to yourself, is the same things that can work for you if you say positive things to yourself. And what I want you to do is write down some of those positive self-talk. I'll tell you a quick story. The same daughter, I don't know why I'm picking on her today. I have three daughters. I have one 28, one 17, and one 19. I'm talking about the 19-year-old right now. But I never forget, she wanted me to come in her room. And I don't go in my daughter's room, okay? So she said, Dad, I can't get in my closet. I can't get in my closet. Now this house is, at the time 17 years old because my daughter was born on the day we moved in. But anyway, so I go to the closet. I knock on the door, go on in there. I said, what's going on, babe? I can't get in my closet. I can't get in my closet. So, all right, relax. So I go ahead and I try to open the door. It was Jimmy. I guess the house settled, and I really couldn't get in the door. I was pulling that thing. I'm a big guy. I couldn't get it open. But you want to know what was phenomenal about that whole situation? Not that I couldn't get in the closet, not that she called me to come in her room and I'll never go in the room, and not that it was such a time of stress for her and me. But when I looked at her door, when I looked at the door of her closet door, and I saw all these Post-its on it, all over. I'm going to PR today. I'm going to get straight A's. I am beautiful. I'm intelligent. She had all these positive things that she was saying about herself on her closet door. And it took me aback because I could not believe, don't get me wrong, I love my daughter and I know she's smart, I get it. But to see how she was motivating herself by having all those words on her door. Now I did get the door open finally, so hey, I wasn't that weak. I finally got it open. But beyond getting the door open, she opened her mind and she opened my mind to realize how powerful words can be, how powerful self-talk can be in your life. So when you place these words and these display and these positive statements, you need to look at them every day and track how often you practice your self-talk. And then you make specific scheduled time to focus on others. Yeah. Remember we were talking about earlier, last slide, focus on other people, help improve other people. That's a way of changing your positive self-image, okay? And then find specific activities that by their nature focus on other people. Get yourself a mask. I mean, we just had Thanksgiving, we just had Christmas. Give to others, give to the homeless, whatever you can do to help improve your situation. Now, on this one, I want you guys to take your phones off mute. And if anyone, take your phones off mute. Everybody, it's a practical exercise here. And everybody got to participate. And this is a way to speak life to yourself, okay? I want everybody to take your phones off mute. And I hope you got your cameras on. If you don't have your cameras on, I get it. But if you do, that's great. That's great. So what I want you to do, I want you to find you a phone, right? And I want you to set it to camera, okay? All right? And then I want you to look at yourself in that camera, and I want you to speak some positive stuff. I want the ladies to go first, so ladies will go first. I want you to say something to yourself and say something positive. So, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm wise, I'm great. On 3, 1, 2, 3, say it.
I'm calm.
I am positive.
Yes.
I'm empowering.
Locate our services and much more.
Great.
Register at Kmc.org today.
Next, we're going to go to the men. The men, you're next. I want you all 3 to say something positive about yourself, okay? 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, man.
I'm empathetic.
I am empathetic. I like that one.
I'm intelligent.
I heard that one. I am Kmc Empowerment. Yeah. Okay. So my point is this. Now, what I want you to do now that you took that picture of yourself, now that you spoke that positive life into yourself, I want you to look back at that picture. I want you to take time later on today, maybe next week, maybe a month from now, and remember what you said to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how you felt today. Remember that smile on your face.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be another way to take you to another mindset of positive esteem.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the law of the mirror, the second key for exponential growth in 2021 is speak positive to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And
when you look at that mirror, you see this mirror here that's displayed before you. It's broken, isn't it?
Mm.
But I want you to always remember this mirror, that lion, that lioness that's inside you. So when you look at the 2 mirrors, I want you to choose wisely on which one you want to follow. All right. All right. So now we're going to move on. We are our last key. Our last key. How much time I have? I'm good on time. Okay. Our last key. And this is my favorite key. So I'm going to tell you guys that right now. This is my favorite one. The key number 3 is the law of the rubber band for exponential growth. I saw some comments coming. Let me see what they say. Let's see what it says here. Okay. Good morning, Kevin. Faith. Hey, Faith, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that was a direct message. Okay. But yes, the law of the rubber band. And it says growth stops when you lose attention between where you are and where you could be. Now, but when we look at a rubber band, I have a rubber band right here. When you look at a rubber band, it's pretty flimsy. You can see in the bottom right corner too. There's nothing to it really if you think about it. So, I mean, it's useless. I mean, we can argue a point about it being useless, but it's useless. However, The only time a rubber band is good is when, ladies and gentlemen? When is it good?
When it's being used.
When it's being used. And when you use a rubber band, what you have to do?
Pull it.
Stretch.
Have tension. Have tension.
Tension.
Yeah.
You stretch a rubber band. In between that stretch is so much goals, so many objectives, so many possibilities in a stretch. And that's the same way you need to stretch yourself.
Okay.
So when we talk about the law of the rubber band, it's all about stretching yourself to be the best you can be. Because in the middle of this tension are opportunities. In the middle of this tension is a new awareness. In the middle of this tension is new possibilities for you. All right, so let's look at some more. Let's look at a little more. See, mediocrity is not a worthy goal. So when we look at this, you need to always stretch from where you are to where you could be. You got to start thinking about, I can be anything I want to be. I can go anywhere I want to go. But how am I going to get there? And when you look at a series of stretches, the first one is we get a gift. All of us have a gift. All of us have a gift. And it's so good that we know our giftings. One of my giftings is I'm exhortation. You know, I'm able to motivate people. But our gift that all of us have is potential. We all have potential. And as you can see here, it's time to stretch. It's time for us to grow, to be our maximum potential for ourselves. But the only problem is we have a gift, but we need to develop it. So you can have all these gifts, you can have all these things that's going on with you, you can have all the potential, but if you're not developing that potential, if you're not doing the things necessary to see that potential go to astronomical heights in your life, you're wasted potential. You're wasting it. You're just letting it go by the wayside. So what we're doing here in the law of the rubber band is getting you to start thinking about how can you grow your potential? What can you do differently to take yourself to those heights that you know you can reach if you apply yourself more? See, if you're in the same place for very long, it's time to stretch. How many of you, by show of hands, I don't have to see you, but by show of hands, how many of you have been in the same place for more than 3 months? Okay, 6 months. All right, 9 months. All right, 1 year. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. How many of you have been in the same place for 1 week? It doesn't make a difference how long. It's time to stretch. Take yourself to other things. Grow yourself in other ways. Be unique. Be creative on how you want to grow yourself. See, where do you need to stretch right now? I want somebody to answer that for me. Let me get about 3 people. Take yourself off mute and answer that last question there. Where do you need to stretch right now in your life? Give me your name and then tell me where you want to stretch.
Commit to going to a coach.
Commit to go to a coach. What's your name, ma'am?
Abby, like Dear Abby. Blakeman, like the superhero.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Abby. But that is critically important. Anybody, let me ask somebody else. Where do you need to stretch right now?
I'll go. This is San.
San, how you doing again?
Good. Go beyond my fears. I think putting the fears, having a brain dump of all the fears and just really looking at them, having a plan to define what they are, how can I prevent it, and have a backup plan if it does happen. Okay, then what? And then do it anyway. And the second thing is to really change that narrative that you talked about, that narrative, that self-talk. And I think it's also very important in order to make these shifts, paradigm shifts, to find people that are like-minded. And that's one of the challenges that I have, is that a lot of the people that I know, they're not really growth-minded, and talking to them, I'm normally the person that motivates or tries to get them through situations and stuff like that. And it's, over a period of time, it becomes it becomes draining. So one of the questions that I have is, where can we find people that are like-minded to kind of, like what you said, partner up, learn from each other, at least be able to motivate each other and keep each other on track?
It all starts saying, hey, everybody, let's give Abby and San a virtual high five. Please clap, all that. Let's give it to them. Both of those comments were fantastic. First, let's go with Abby. Abby was thinking more so, find herself a coach. Do you know how great of awareness that is for Abby?
That's good.
Because a coach will ask her questions she won't ask herself.
Right.
A coach will pull out of her those things that she needs to know in order for herself. And she'll come up with these answers that help set the trajectory for her life. And then let's go on to San. San gave a great comment about where she's at, where she's standing right now. She wants to find a way to get herself around a certain nucleus of people that are growth mindset. They have a growth mindset. And it's so funny, there is an opportunity, San, for you to jump into a program that I'll have a little later to go more in depth about having a growth mindset, where you'll have people on the call where you're going to meet those people you want to see that has that mindset. And you can be able to synergize with those people in order to build your acumen in that area and remove those barriers and those fears and those fear mongers and such. And the way you get away from people that in that mindset, sometimes you have to just change who you're around, your audience, and find out. And the way you find people that are more like-minded with you, look for things you like. Are you? Do you love reading? Do you love writing? What are those things that you love to do, and you can put yourself in a positioning in order to be around people that are like-minded in that sense, and you can find people in those groups that will have that same interest as you. And one last thing I want to ask both Abby and San. At the end of this training today, and in fact today at 3:30 p.m., I have a goal-setting training for 2021 that I'm doing online. And if you look in the chat, it's all in the chat. You can sign up there. But nonetheless, you sign up for that, we're going to go even deeper on some of this stuff, okay? And you're going to understand it even from a different vantage point on where you can grow yourself, how you can reach some of those goals for 2021. All right? Any other questions? Can I get one more person to answer this question? Where do you need to stretch right now? One more person. Don't be shy. Like, wait 8 seconds. Good. All right. So we're good on that one. All right. Next one here. It's easy to be average. Yes. We talk about mediocrity. It's easy to be average. So we don't want to be average in anything we do. We always want to have that mindset of growing ourselves and taking ourselves to another trajectory in life. But when we talk about stretching, we need to realize here are the benefits of stretching. So we had a couple of people. We had Abby, we had San. Give us an idea where they need to stretch. But here are some benefits that they're going to see once they start stretching in those areas. They're going to understand that few people will stretch. It was so funny that Abby was talking about, I'm not Abby, but Sam was talking about people that are around her nucleus, the people that are close to her. Some people that are close to her don't want to grow. They don't want to grow. They just want to stay in a stagnant place. And that's ordinary because few people want to stretch. And then you got to realize the status quo leads to ultimate destruction. So you don't want to stay in that steady place. And stretching always starts from where? The inside out. That's critically important. Because when you stretch yourself, you're stretching your heart. You're stretching your mind. And when you stretch your heart and your mind, guess what? It's going to exude to those around you. And people are going to start asking you, Sam. People are going to start asking you, Abby, What changed about you? Because when you get a coach, guess what? It's going to improve your performance in every area of your life. When you're talking about your physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, social, whatever it is, it's going to improve that. You're going to see your performance improve. All right, here we go. Next one here. No, if now this kind of bothers people sometimes, but that last one says, note, if you are exactly where you should be given all you've done to get there. And that's so true. Some people don't like me with having that in our training. Sometimes it hits the core of what's going on. We went through 3 different keys, and then we're going to say here, you're exactly where I should be given all I've done to get there. It is true. Because if you haven't stretched yourself, you are exactly where you should be. Here we go. Next one here. So more benefits of stretching. Stretching always requires change. It's never too late to be what you want to have been. Yes, so things are going to change. Not everything's going to be the same once you start stretching yourself. You're going to be around new audiences. You're going to be around new people. So I'm so glad that question was asked. Next one is, stretching sets you apart. See, good enough is a model to defeat it. Stretching can be a lifestyle, yes. Some people are continually stretching themselves on a daily basis. They're always finding ways to help stretch themselves and take themselves to another level in life. I'm one of them. Also, some more benefits of stretching. Stretching gives you a shot at significance. I'm gonna ask a question here. I want let me get one person, that's all I need. I want somebody to define success. What does success mean to you? One person, let me get one person, just take yourself on mute and tell me what success means to you.
Overcoming your limiting beliefs.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you. So, and I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. I don't know who said it, but thank you for saying that. But success, you're right. Overcoming your limiting beliefs, that's a good way of feeling successful. But also, there are some people that may marry the woman of their dreams and they feel like they're successful. Some may have bought a brand new car, and they feel that they're successful. Some may have bought a house, success, or got their doctorate degree, or received a doctorate degree. Yes, that's another way of being successful. Some may be a CEO or entrepreneur, own their own business, and they feel they're successful. All those things are true. Yes, you overcome your limiting beliefs, you're successful. But guess what? Whoever said that, I'm so glad you said it. But when you're talking about stretching yourself and getting to significance, it's totally different. See, when you look at success and significance, they're 2 totally different things. Success happens to you. Significance happens through you. So in other words, once you overcome that limiting belief, you're successful. But once you start helping others overcome limiting beliefs, you're going into the level of significance because you're always helping others. There's always more people beyond yourself. All right. Next one here. Stretching must be intentional to the end. Just like we started. We started with being, the first law was the law of intentionality. So when you stretch yourself, you need to be intentional about it. It can't be done by happenstance. Sometimes I feel like doing it. And always stretch yourself in every aspect of life. Remember, I was talking about physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, social, whatever area you need to stretch yourself. And in my training this afternoon, we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about even more areas that you need to stretch yourself in. Excuse me. Now, we're getting to the end, but I want you to remember this. I want you guys to write this down. This is critically important. The acronym MORE. M-O-R-E. This is critically important. And I want you don't have to put yourself on mute, or you can stay on mute, but I want you to say this to yourself. Maximize opportunities with relentless enthusiasm. So when you're talking about stretching yourself, being intentional about things, when you're talking about stretching yourself in every aspect of life, When you're talking about having a mindset and keeping that positive mindset and all the things you do to remove self-limiting beliefs, you must maximize opportunities with relentless enthusiasm. When you have an opportunity that's before you, there you can take yourself to the next level by investing in yourself. When you have an opportunity before you where you can grow yourself to be the best you can be in 2021, when you have an opportunity before you, you must maximize that opportunity with relentless enthusiasm. So remember those things as you approach and embark on 2021 and in your life in general, in your career, in your promotion, in your new job, in your interview, whatever you're going to do, maximize that opportunity with relentless enthusiasm. I love to look at it from this perspective too. When we look, you have a glass of water and you got the water in it, and it's about midway. What you would call that? Somebody take yourself on me. What would you call a glass? Just imagine me having a glass of water. It was about midway with water. What would you say it is?
Glass is half full.
It's half full. Good. That's the optimist. What would a pessimist say it is?
Half empty.
What would a realist say it is?
It's halfway.
Okay. Or they say it's a glass of water, right? Now, imagine this water, the same water, about midway. An opportunist will do what?
Drink the water.
They'll drink the water. They will drink the water, and guess what they'll say? I want more.
It was good.
They'll say, I want more. You see, because the opportunists, they're going to take advantage of these opportunities. They're going to maximize the opportunities to grow themselves. And they're going to want more. They're going to want to continue to grow. They want to continue to see themselves grow in acumen. Continue to see themselves grow in how their awareness about things in life. And see the things come to fruition that they've been desiring for all their lives. That's more. So what I'm telling you guys today, it's all in your hands on where you want to grow, where you want to see yourself go. And this is the offer I have for you. Anybody that's interested, the 15 invaluable laws of growth. If you want to tap into your potential, this is a perfect training for you. To reach your potential, you must grow. And to grow, you must be intentional about it. And here's the way you can do it. It's a master class I have that starts on Wednesday. It starts at 5:00 p.m., January 6th. That's all you got to do is register. Go to my website, www.kmcempowerment.com, and just click on your registration, and I'll send you information on that. But next, I want you to go over the 15 invaluable laws of growth. This is what you'll be receiving in this training. Not only will we go over the law of intentionality in more depth, but also we'll talk about the law of awareness. You must know yourself to grow yourself. Then we'll talk about the law of the mirror more in depth. Then we'll talk more about the law of reflection. Learning to pause allows growth to catch up with you. Yes, that's a powerful one. And then we're going to talk about the law of consistency. Hey, I'm not making this up. I told you this was impactful on my life. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. The next one here is the law of the environment. You'll love this one. Growth thrives in conducive surroundings. Yes, that's me having bright people around you. We were talking about that today, weren't we? The law of design. To maximize growth, develop strategies. That's where, when you look at these millionaires, billionaires, they have a law of design going. It all happens the way they calculate it. Yes, there's surprises. Yes, there's certain nuances that are new, but no, they have a strategy that they're developing. Next one, the law of pain. Growth management, a bad experience leads to great growth. Yes. Then we're going to talk about law number 9, which is the law of the ladder. Character growth determines the height of your personal growth. Yes, it's about your character. Who are you bringing up? Are you a mentor? Are you mentoring those around you? Are you finding yourself a mentor? Next one here is, then we're going to go in more detail about the law of rubber band. Then we're going to talk about the law of trade-offs. You have to give up to grow up. Yes. And then we're going to talk about the law of curiosity. Growth is stimulated by asking why. Come to my training this afternoon on growth. We're going to go a lot about why and how important it is for you to find your growth today. All right, also, we're going to talk about law of modeling. It's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. Yes. Number 14, we're going to talk about the law of expansion. Growth always increases your capacity. Yes, the more you grow, the more capacity you have to grow even more, because you're going to open up your mind and you're going to want to learn new things even more. The more you learn, the more you're going to want to learn more. It's going to grow your capacity. People think that, oh, I learned this so much, I can't believe. No, it opens up your mind to various different things in life when you learn and grow more. And the last one is one of the best ones here. The law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. So these are the trainings that you will receive in that 5-week training on beginning. It's only 1 hour per week beginning on that day. Okay. All right, here we go. Now here's the one that's going on this afternoon. This is the goal setting training that I was talking about. And if you like this training, you're going to love the other one, because don't get me wrong, I love everything everything that I'm given to provide training on is great. But this one here, I'm telling you, it's a winner. Anyway, but get focused on your goals. Monday, January 4th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, virtual on Zoom. You want to sign up, go to that link that's in the chat box. It's one of the first ones on there. Click that link, sign up and register today. All right? Now, again, I'm going to show you this one more time. If you want the details here, go to my website, www.Kmc Empowerment. Scroll to the bottom of the page, click in, put in your information, sign up for that, and I'll send you the details about it, okay? Q&A. Hey, I'm open for questions. Who want to ask some questions? First of all, did you enjoy it?
No, I loved it.
You loved it. So give yourself a round of applause for loving it. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, Kevin, I had a quick question. I don't have access to the chat here, but if we wanted to attend the 3:30, would one way of doing it go to the website and sign up there also?
Yeah, you can go to the website. Just go to my website, www.kmcempowerment.com.
Okay.
And
okay.
let me see. Yeah, www.kmcempowerment.com. That's the way to get in there. And just sign up for it.
Okay. It's KFC, like Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No, it's KMC.
Mike. Got it.
Yeah, my name is Kevin Michael Coleman.
Got it. KMCempowerment.com.
That's it. Now, who's this I'm talking to so I can look out for you?
Oh, Joe. Joseph Awkward.
Joe.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you on.
Yes.
All right. Hey, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. It's almost 11:30. I know you guys stop at 11:30. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. And remember, your life is for you to make the best of it. So put yourself first and make the right decision. Okay? Make the right decision. And give yourself in 2021. Invest in yourself in 2021 and see the maximum potential you're going to see in your life. See the exponential growth. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Jeffrey. If anybody want to write some comments about this training today, please go to my LinkedIn and write something in my LinkedIn on how well you liked it, okay? My LinkedIn. All right, thank you.